Welcome back to the BJJ Fanatics podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ford. My guest today is a cult icon in the Jiu Jitsu community. He's a 4th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. He's a no-gi world champion, a multiple-time Pan Am's champion, and he's currently teaching at La Miranda Jiu Jitsu in Lafayette, California, just outside of San Francisco. You may have seen him on TV as he was featured on Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown, and if you haven't seen him there, then you've definitely seen him on YouTube, as his move of the week is a hit for over a decade now on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me today for my 27th interview together, my good buddy Kurt Osiander. How are you today, Kurt?
What's up?
Good to see you, man. How's everything going? It's only been a couple months since we talked last. How's everything going, man?
It wasn't so long ago, right?
It wasn't such a long gap this time, man. We're all happy that you're making more frequent appearances on the show, man. We used to do these every month together back in the Grappling Central days, and everyone's stoked to have you back, man. Everyone's really happy to see that you're more frequently doing media. So appreciate you doing this again. How's everything going? How's your how have things been since we last spoke?
I've been busy. I did a Lynchburg, Virginia seminar, and then I did Tucson, Arizona with Manny down there at Daimyo, and then I just got back from that, and then I'm getting set up to do July with Alberto Crane down in LA, and then something in Wyoming, which nice. For some reason people, in Wyoming like me, so.
That's awesome. I love it, man. Well, that's it. I'm happy to hear that you're back on the seminar circuit, dude. That's a lot of dates you got. That's awesome, man.
I need to get some for August, September, October, November, December. So anybody out there who wants me to get booked out for the end of the year end, I'm free.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that, man. Kurt, really quick, can you blow into your microphone here for me, just to make sure that that's where the audio's coming in? Is there a button on there that you can press? That's it. Check. Yep, I can hear you now. No, don't put it in your mouth. No, don't eat the microphone, Kurt. Don't eat the microphone. Just give it a little.
I've done that before.
I don't know why that doesn't surprise me. I can imagine you eating various inanimate objects that are not supposed to be edible.
I have.
Things that are not supposed to be for human consumption.
You can ask Gumby. One time he was interviewing me and I ate his recorder.
That must have been really crappy coming on the way out. That must have been terrible.
Well, needless to say, I was a little imbibed. And then I grabbed it out of his hand and just chomped it down.
That's so good. I bet he was really happy to lose that piece of equipment in that way.
No, he wasn't. He was like, Kurt, you just ate my recorder. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I didn't mean to.
Sometimes I get excited. Yeah, that's all. Well, dude, it's good to have you back here, man. It's funny. I didn't really write a whole lot of questions for today's episode. I want to just kind of keep it light and fun. Speaking of, you just talked about eating recorders and all this kind of stuff. I know that there's obviously in the world of jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of ridiculous things that go on. And you've been teaching for a long time. You've been training for a long time. I thought it would just be fun to kind of explore some of the ridiculous side of jiu-jitsu. You used to teach in 2 different academies where you came up. You taught at Half Gracie's for a long time, and you also taught at your own academy briefly in the Mission neighborhood
right.
of San Francisco. So you've seen a lot of weird things. What are some of the most sketchy and weird students that you've ever had to work with? Don't drop their names, but give us some stories. What are some of the weirder people you've had to encounter in jiu-jitsu?
Weird people don't really stick around, but they will wander in the front door.
Yeah.
They will always wander for some reason. I guess it's because it's a matted floor and whatever, and then the door's open, it's quite welcoming. And so all kinds of weirdos come in, a lot of homeless, and they always run straight onto the mat and throw themselves on the floor. And then you have to do a full fucking burn and sterilize.
Oh my God. It does. It's funny. You mentioned the mats. It does resemble kind of a padded room for crazy people, right?
No, they're drawn to it. They're running off the street. They'll jump on the mat. They roll around and they're happy. And you're like, get out.
So you've literally had people run in off the street and start rolling around on your mats.
Yes.
That's how often did that happen? That's something that most academy owners.
That happens a lot.
Does it really?
I mean, more so in San Francisco, but I mean, it'll it'll happen anywhere.
I was going to say, it must be a more common San Francisco thing, because I think that most schools have probably never. Yeah. Just a special region. Yeah.
That's a special. If it's like Berkeley or San Francisco, I would say, yeah, you're going to get that kind of reaction where people jump on your mats and run in there and, I don't know, think that they have the right to do that.
Yeah. It is an interesting thing for sure. I think that's a very unique experience that you've had that most school owners probably haven't dealt with. But obviously, jiu-jitsu and martial arts in general attracts people of all walks of life. So there's all kinds of like quirky. I mean, great people, and even the weird ones can be really cool sometimes. But quirky,
absolutely.
Everyone's got their quirks, man. What are some of the weird ones that you've seen for people that stuck around? What are some of the fun ones?
Well, like the fun ones are like the traditional martial artists that do katas and stuff like that. And they're like, what's my kata? And I'm all, there's no kata. Shut the fuck up and go out there and train, There's no kata. You can't do a kata, a ground kata.
A ground kata, yeah.
Right? And so they're like lifetime martial artists are very quirky, and, some of them like get really into it. You know what I'm saying? They're really into it. So, they read all the books and they study all the philosophies and stuff like that. And that makes them interesting too. But, there's nothing, they're not really deriving anything bad from studying that. So, you have to be open-minded about that.
Yeah.
I don't sit there and fucking zen out or do anything weird like that.
Well, it's funny because in traditional martial arts, I remember I've been doing martial arts since I was a little kid. So I've been involved in all different forms of training and stuff since I was young. And the one thing that I remember about being around in the pre-jiu-jitsu days, before jiu-jitsu really took off, before MMA really took off, there was a lot of mysticism that was allowed to kind of evolve in martial arts. There was a lot of mystique. There was a lot of death touch things, chi things, and I think that I don't know, when you didn't have the guardrails sort of actual competition, actual fighting to prove what works and what doesn't, things could sometimes go real far off the road.
Yeah, that's for sure. The dim mock and I remember in the early days. Now this is after the first UFC, and then a lot of martial artists came in and started testing jiu-jitsu, and basically challenging jiu-jitsu. And so they'd come in and they'd be like, "No, we want to fight. We want to fight you, Half," and he'd be like, "Fuck you. Go fight my blue belts," And then we were such roughnecks. We would fucking just fuck those guys up so badly. We would do shit to them that you can't do to humans, and then tie you up in a knot and then throw you out the front door and tell you good day, goodbye, get fucked. And so that's what we were taught to do, And then some of them got harder, and then a lot of things got easier because we were just we were such thugs, and we were raised by the leader of the thugs, and so what do you expect to happen?
Yeah. What are some of your favorite memories of those old challenge days? Because that's something that for a lot of people that train today, that's something that's almost unimaginable, that someone would just walk into the school in the middle of a class and say, hey, I want to issue the Gracie challenge in the middle of a training session.
They would come in and we'd be like, hey, how you doing? You want to sign up or you want to try out a class? And they'd be like, yeah. And we'd be like, oh, this guy's got a stick up his ass.
You just recognize it right away, yeah.
And we're like, here, sign the waiver. See this part that says you're endangering your life? Just sign right there on the dotted line. Print and sign your name. That says whatever we do to you, it'll be okay. And so that's what we do, and then we'd install punishment. and then we would do fucked up shit to you. And there would be multiple opponents coming at you, one after another, until we finished you all and then piled you all up at the front door and fucking gave you a good swift kick out the fucking front door.
Now, let me ask you this. Was there ever anyone that ever came close to doing well? Like, was there ever like a kung fu guy or anyone that came in and was kind of like, oh, wow, this guy's actually kind of hard to deal with?
Only a kind of like a high-level judoka would be a problem, you know, at first.
Like a tough wrestler or something like that.
Yeah. A really tough wrestler or a sambo guy would go after you right after your leg and try to fucking twerk your fucking leg off your body and stuff like that. But I'd be like stuck in a hook, and I'd look over at Half. I'm all, what do I do? And he's all, get out.
It's like, why didn't I think of that? Yeah.
But it's hurting my leg. He's all, get out. I'm like, you know, scramble up.
Is that the actual noise you made? Because that would have been great.
Yeah. I'd be like, you know, and fucking turn around and fucking choke the pee out of the guy and be like, fuck, what the fuck were you doing to my leg?
Oh, man. That kind of explains why sometimes you walk with a limp, man. If you're letting people heel hook you to the point of screaming like that just to get out and then continuing to fight, I can see how...
So that's kind of what I've been noticing lately. Like today, the weather changed over here and it dropped like 10 degrees from this weekend. And as soon as fucking the weather like dampens or like gets cooler, man, my knees fucking hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that with like arthritis, like weather can affect it and stuff.
And then they get stiff and they like kind of lock up and then boom, and then fucking pop. Yeah.
Then you just think back to that Sambo guy that came in.
I'm like, motherfucker.
It's like, did you find a lot of the guys that came in to do those challenge matches would eventually convert to becoming?
Yeah, it would either be me or Dave Camarillo or Big Dave or Cameron Earl, and you know, that was the cast of the few, but we were like the hard front, you know.
I mean, it's good that they, at least a lot of people saw the light and realized like, okay, yeah, this is like an aspect of fighting I really need to learn, because there are people that would come in that just their ego couldn't handle the fact that they lost or the fact that it didn't work. When I started training, it was kind of at the tail end of all that. Like we'd occasionally have some people come in and like, you know, want to try to roll against us or whatever, or see if they could do some MMA type sparring, and you know, and it usually went in the way that, in fact, I can't think of anyone that ever really came in and beat anybody that was training at our place. But a lot of times there would be guys that you never see him again. I remember this one. There was actually a Krav Maga school that was across the street from one of the first academies I trained at. And
if you want to fucking piss people off when you're fighting them, you do Krav Maga to them.
right to the nuts.
No, you're not going to get any. You're going to fucking die, because if you do that horrible shit to them, I don't see anything else happening.
Yeah, it's not gonna be fun. But I remember this one Krav Maga guy came in, and he was just like, you know, he wanted to basically test himself against good jiu-jitsu players and stuff. And he started as he was signing the waiver and stuff, he started adding more and more stipulations. Okay, so just to be clear, like, I can punch right to the face, no gloves, right? My instructor was like, yeah, you can hit our guy, whatever. You guys can, you know, it's consider it an open sparring session, whatever you want to do. Okay, and then
punch him right in the nuts.
That's exactly what he said next. He says, well, how about groin strikes? Can we do groin strikes? And my instructor's like, I mean, dude, look, if you want to do whatever you want to do to our guy, it's up to you. He's gonna probably respond brutally to you as well. So just, you know, choose what you do and understand that whatever you do, he might do it back. And then so he's like, okay, how about eye gouge? Can I gouge your eyes? And then he started like, and then finally got to the point where it's just like he's talking about biting and everything else. And my instructor's just like, dude, whatever you want to do, just go ahead. And then right when they started going, the guy was immediately like a double leg to a side control to like getting choked. It was like none of those things
none of those things ever materialized.
Yeah, it didn't even materialize, but it was funny though, because this guy, it's almost like he was just trying to name more and more horrible shit that he was going to be allowed to do to try to make us go, oh, I don't know, we better back off this guy.
I'm going to try to bite his off.
I think they call that a Russian vasectomy.
It's like, I'm not fighting this guy. He's going to try to bite my fuck off. And if he just goes right straight for it.
It's a whole nother level of cannibalism right there. That's rough. Did you ever have, what do you think is the dirtiest thing you've seen someone do in like a role or competition?
All right. So this one time, this guy came in and then he was doing all that stuff, right? He was like, I'm Krav Maga, I'm this and that and everything like that. And so he came in my guard and he was like, yeah. And he started like stabbing me in my neck with his thumbs, but my neck was already so tough that I did not feel anything. And I just looked at him and I was like, this guy's got to be out of his fucking mind because he's trying to do pressure point stuff that maybe a normal human would feel it, right? But I'm not a normal human, obviously.
if you couldn't tell. Yeah.
Look, if you're going to stab me, you should stab me straight through, right? Like straight through my front to my back and then mix it around a lot. But yeah, it was crazy. Some of the people that I got to train with were very crazy, and like they believed in their martial art. They were Kaji Kempo, they were Taekwondo, they were, whatever. But eventually you find out what's effective, and then I always like to do like a lot of jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And then just straight up boxing, because if your hands are really good, that's going to open up your kicks and that's going to open up everything. And so that's the way I was raised by my trainers. So
that's a good combo.
I did a lot of, I had like Chris Cariaso owned his gym here in the city called Fight and Fitness that he changed to Rise. And then he moved to Tucson, but he had two Lumpini champions, teaching. And so I got brought up by really good Muay Thai and not watered down at all, and was immediately put into the pro. They're like, here, beat the crap out of this fucking black belt.
Don't worry, he's rugged. Yeah,
he's tough.
That's the worst thing someone can say.
You can kick him as hard as you want.
Dude, that's the code word right there. Dude. That's what you don't want. Like if you're walking into a tough training room in like a striking room, and someone says, "Oh, hey guys, this is my friend Joe. He's tough." That's code word for like you can light him up and it's fine. So yeah, you better have your mouthpiece in. Yeah.
See, that was something I always had in. So I was always lucky. I didn't lose any teeth. That was always a really good. That's a plus.
That's a plus. That's a bonus. That's a bonus. Not losing teeth is a good thing. Yeah. It's funny because like you mentioned, you liked wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and Muay Thai. My personal favorite favorite combination for fighting is boxing with jiu-jitsu. I love boxing, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. I think it's a really, really solid combination. And like you said, there's a lot of people that have come in like as MMA has taken off over the generations and stuff. There's a lot of people that have come in from older traditional styles that have floated over, and sometimes they mesh in well. Like you see karate guys oftentimes can do pretty well. The way they spar can match pretty well into MMA and things like that. So
they have their high kicks and crescent kick and fucking axe kick, and especially if they're really good at it and shit.
Yeah, totally. I remember there was one guy who, this guy we used to train with, he came over from some form of karate. I don't remember what it was. And man, he was the guy that would, every time a technique was shown, he was the guy that would stop to ask, well, what if they did this? Like, what if this happened? What if that? And it was always some karate
Hey, Mr.
thing.
What If?
Yeah.
What if I run over here and I stuff this right up your asshole and fucking put you on a pike in front of the fucking academy, you fuck? What if?
Now, see, that's your Viking barbarian DNA talking, Kurt. Let's take a deep breath.
It is.
Let's calm down for a second. Let's not pike and let's not Vlad the Impale people.
There's all kinds of what ifs.
Yeah, they never end. They never end. Yeah, but this guy would always be. It would always be some karate related thing. It'd always be like, well, if you went in to clinch me and I stepped aside and and it was always just kind of like, It's like, buddy, you're interrupting every single technique. What are some things like that? What are some things like that students do that drive you nuts? Like, what are some obnoxious student behaviors that you recommend people
what
avoid?
if? No, the what if is the best. What if he grabs your pants this way? I'm like, and? Won't that stop that? No, it won't. It won't stop anything. You're not solving any of the problems. Your problem is far larger now than it was. So I mean, it's pretty funny. I was like the what ifs. And what if this happens? And what if this? And what if I turn upside down and show you my asshole? What if I twirl around like a ballerina and dodge off into the darkness? Well, you could do that too.
Yeah, there's always going to be a plethora of options in the world of fighting. And I think like with jiu-jitsu, like to be clear, I think it's good that students ask questions. I mean, it's obviously like important that you understand why something works. But we're talking specifically about the guy who just constantly has rebuttals for anything that you learn or that you teach. Well, if you try to Kimura me, couldn't I just do this or could I just do that or could I just do that? And to some degree, there's value in asking, but at some point, it's also
I just put them with somebody that's totally above their head.
Yeah.
And I go, what if?
They're getting choked. Like what?
No.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, hey, what if? Hey,
good.
what if you get out? Oh, you're not getting out? Oh, what if?
I know. No, I know for instructors, I know that is an annoying one. Like if someone's just constantly asking those, I mean, yeah. I've seen it. I've seen people who just relentlessly ask that question. And
does it happen in Portuguese?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't really seen people do that yet. Not yet down here, but
I don't figure it happens too much in Portuguese.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Because you get your ass beat.
Oh, right. Yeah. Like a little less people.
Hey, Mr. What If? Yeah, we're going to help you outside to the bus stop in a pile. Yeah, we're gonna call you a fucking taxi cab to fucking bounce your ass back to fucking Pernambuco or wherever. Fuck.
What are some other ones like besides the what if guys? Like what are some other like obnoxious kind of behaviors that as a teacher that irritate you?
As a teacher,
or even as a training partner.
There's some guys that are just physically, they're just physically strong, and so they're gonna be tough no matter what. Yeah. They could have no training, and they're gonna be a pain in the ass.
Sure.
And so those guys usually have the hardest time with dealing the power of jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? And so they doubt it for longer than others until they get to the upper echelon where all of a sudden their physical ability is not enough to continue. And they're like, oh, fuck, I better learn jiu-jitsu now because I'm not getting by on my physical attributes. And so I know a lot of guys like that. And then they finally go, oh, I got to learn jiu-jitsu after all because this is not such a simple sport, But in the beginning, they could surpass a lot of people. Yeah, lot of people.
Sure. Yeah, no, I've seen that a lot. I've seen like people that are like in really good shape, like CrossFit type guys, whatever. Like when they're amongst the brand new people, when they're amongst the first 6 months class, the very beginners class, they can be difficult for the other people. But then, like you said, there does come that moment where it's like you're with people that know jiu-jitsu and know how to use the technique and know how to limit your physical abilities against them. That's when you realize, like, okay, yeah, this gets deeper,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They usually figure it out a little bit later, and then they go, "Oh, whoa! I have to actually learn all this shit."
Yeah, it's like now that I've been here for a year, I should start learning it. Yeah. What do you think is like the biggest freak out you've seen in either a tournament or a class? Like, have you ever seen someone like really lose their shit in a tournament or or a freak out anywhere?
Yeah, I've had a freak out.
You freaked out? What'd you do?
Well, I was winning, and then they fucking robbed me, and then I was
at Masters, yeah,
at Masters, and they robbed me, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they just fucking robbed me. And then that's that one really angry photo of me where I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I was on acid and everything, and I was almost gonna have a fucking meltdown. And I'm all, should I have a meltdown and break the TV and fucking chase people around? And I go, no, that'd be a really bad idea right now, Kurt. They'll arrest you,
dude. So I have to ask. So what is that like, having someone come at you in a tournament while you're in that state, in that mental state?
Oh, I'm good. I'm all good.
Really?
I'm on it.
Okay. It doesn't mess with you at all. It doesn't feel, you don't see things, you don't hear things, nothing.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. That's what it was developed for. It wasn't for fucking dancing to fucking Grateful Dead music. Okay. It was developed for combat.
For war. Yeah, so. That's true. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. I actually saw a documentary about that.
Aren't I though?
Yeah. There was a documentary about that actually that I was watching on YouTube. I can't remember if I finished it or not, but yeah, they were talking about how they developed it during like World War II. Is that around the time?
Well, actually they started really using it in Vietnam.
Oh,
spraying our troops and stuff like that. But
yeah,
they were like, look, I think, but that it's supposed to like regress you. And so I never had any problems with it. So,
yeah. Well, so you mentioned that one freak out, but that wasn't too bad of a freak out though. Cause I remember watching that live. There was not a, you didn't throw a tantrum about it. You were pissed and you were questioning the decision. But like, what's the biggest like tantrum that you've seen someone throw in a tournament or in a classroom?
Fuck. I don't know. I used to throw tantrums daily. You know, you'd have a bad day. You'd be like, rah, and run out front and be like, fuck. I mean, I think it's pretty normal, especially if you're really competitive and stuff like that. And so, I mean, and then you start to learn like how can I say, the way to be a good sportsman,
yeah,
right?
Sure.
So that's really kind of what it teaches you, is to be a good sportsman and to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good, and whatever you lose, you win. You know, you have to deal with it.
Yeah. The
way Half taught us was always to go out there and just finish the guy, and then there would be no discrepancies.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think? What do you think is the your most embarrassing jiu-jitsu moment?
I was up on points, and Half looks over at me and he goes, "Just don't do anything stupid." And I go, "That's it. I'm going Tomonagi." And I Tomonagi'd, and they put the guy in mount.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, dude. Did you see
how I looked over and Half was like,
it's like you had one, I gave you one command, and you didn't listen.
And I just could not listen. I just could not listen to it.
Oh, that is hilarious, dude. I pulled guard one time in a match when I was a blue belt. I pulled the guy and he kind of jumped. He kind of did like you know, like that hip thrust pass where the guy's on the ground, he just kind of sprawls his hips forward. As I pulled him, the guard, he sort of hip thrusted, so I just pulled the dude right to mount, and then I couldn't get out. He stayed there like the whole match. I couldn't get away. And just the whole time I'm just sitting there like, I just pulled this guy to mount. Like what an ass, you know?
That's what I thought. It was Justin. Fuck, his brother was a fighter in UFC, and his brother's name was Justin. And so I made it to the finals, and then he's like, "Whatever you do, don't do anything stupid." And I'm like, "What? Do something stupid? Okay."
That I can do. Yeah. I gotta say, man, if you're gonna pull someone to mount, I think yours was way cooler. A Toanagi.
Oh, it was just like.
Did the guy thank you? Did he say thank you at least?
No, it was very bad.
What an ingrate! Yeah,
I was scolded.
You were scolded by Alf. Oh, that's awesome. What's the funniest thing you've seen a student do? Do you have any funny like dumb moments that a student has done in competition? Because we've all got them.
It wasn't even one of my students, but I thought it was the funniest thing I ever saw. It was Bill the Grill.
Oh yeah, sure,
and he's fucking winning Pan Am's finals.
Oh, I know this one. Yeah.
I don't know because he's my fucking hero. I fucking think Bill is cooler than shit.
Bill's awesome.
And
he's awesome.
And he sweeps and he comes on top and he's like, yeah. And the guy grabs the back of his pants and pulls his pants down and he has no underpants.
I remember this.
And I go, oh my. And they're like, stoppy.
Paro.
Paraluta. You cannot have no underpants on. You're DQ'd. So it wasn't, I think that was like the funniest thing I've ever seen because he was fucking winning and he was fucking stoked and he was on top. And then his pants came down and he didn't have any underpants. And so that was to his detriment.
Disqualified for going commando. Yeah, that was a fun. Yeah. What year was that, man? That was like 2000.
That was LA. It was LA and it was at the Pyramid.
Yeah.
If I recall.
Yeah.
Bill was just, he was killing it. He was fucking killing it. And then his pants came down.
That's the worst. They should have just let him pull his pants up and win, man. Why disqualify? It's not something he did. He didn't do anything wrong except not wearing underwear, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're supposed to wear underpants.
I guess the rules are rules, Kurt. You're one that understands that. You don't like wearing pants and stuff and shirts.
I wear Speedos.
That's true.
And so
you're a gentleman.
So I've been in the beginning days, I commandoed.
Did you really? In the gi? Really? You didn't have like chafing going on? I can't imagine like.
No, my got really tough.
I imagine it probably have calluses and everything down there. That's gonna be horrible.
I would get no, friction burns or anything.
That's amazing.
Ever.
Did you wear cups in jiu-jitsu? Do you ever like hitting the nuts? I swear I've never been hitting the nuts. That's
why I wear Speedos, so it keeps your package close to you.
Keeps everything nice and tight. Dude,
keeps it all
you would
flush.
You would look at jiu-jitsu and you would think, man, people must get hit in the nuts like all the time, like passing guard and during scrambles. I don't think I've ever been hit in the nuts. My
dick ducks.
Trained him in Wing Chun and what's that other one? What's that other water kung fu? Tai Chi.
And they're like, what do you mean your dick ducks? Come on, my dick ducks.
It parries and weaves. But yeah, you'd think, I don't know, man. Like, I think from the outside, like, even as a jiu-jitsu person, I sit and think, like, man, it's weird. You don't see people get hit in the nuts or kicked in the nuts more often than you do. I mean, it happens, but you'd think it would happen more.
It does. I mean, like, when guys jump to guard and the guy fucking leaps forward with a knee and stuff like that, shit like that. And then you deserve it. So.
It's what you get for being adventurous. Yeah.
You're going to leap like that with your wang out. What do you think's going to happen?
With your wang out? Or is it just, you mean just exposed?
Exposed wang.
Yeah, because those are two totally different kinds of drills, man. Totally different. Well, what do you think is the worst injury you've seen happen? Like, what's the worst injury that you've seen happen either in competition or training?
A D-glove. D-glove.
Oh no. Someone with a wedding ring? Oh, that's the worst, man. I've only seen pictures.
D-glove. Deglove is really bad because the ring goes, you know, you kneel on it and then it cuts in, and their natural reaction is going to be this.
To yank. Yep. Yeah. Yank the hand.
So don't train in a ring. Don't train with gum in your mouth because you'll fucking choke to death.
Yeah, you can.
Right? And train with your mouthpiece on, because I'm leaving this planet with my fucking original teeth. And so I've been really lucky. And so I always wore a mouthpiece, and then all sparring classes, even jiu-jitsu, I would put on a grind guard. You know, the thin mouthpieces and stuff like that. So I always trained like I was supposed to, but I never wore cup. No.
Yeah, I never did either, man.
Only if I was doing like Muay Thai and stuff like that, or MMA. And even then I didn't wear my cup until it was like close to the fight, and then I would practice trying to fucking hit people with my cup.
Just weaponize it.
I would weaponize my steel cup, and I would try to jump on your face with it.
Oh my God. That's dirty,
Ryan,
bro. That's brutal.
Well, you're giving me the opportunity, and I'm like, if I grab their clavicle and pull it out of their body, and they're like, no, you cannot grab their clavicle. And I'm like, if I jump in the sky and I land with my right on their face as hard as I can, and they're like, no, what are you thinking? If I go to north-south and I thrust my into their head as hard as I can with my fucking steel cup on, and they're like, oh my God, I can't even believe you're thinking of these things. And I'm thinking about it, but if I stuff my hand up underneath his rib cage and pull it, they're like, you can't do any of these things to the people.
Yeah, Kurt, these are not most functioning members of society that engage in training martial arts don't think of thrusting their cup into someone's chin.
Weaponizing myself. And so, you know, I was like, look, if I can't do this, then I'm going to do this. If I can't do this, I'll do this. And I'm like, and how far will you be jumping? I'll be jumping from way up here. I'll jump.
Oh my God. And just thrust.
And thrust my cup right into their fucking head as hard as I can.
I imagine you've been asked not to return to a lot of sparring centers.
I don't think you understand. I would practice on the heavy bag, and I would like sit there and fucking elbow and like do all kinds of these arbitrary like strikes. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm all, I can knee the guy here. I can knee the guy here. I can elbow the guy here. If I go over here, I'm going to hump his face. And they're like,
who knows, man? You might have systemized a whole new area of martial arts. Who knows? Who knows?
That's why I fucking wear a steel cup, because I'm fucking dropping that fucking hammer wherever I can.
Oh, dude, my face hurts. Oh my God. Hang on. Oh, I got to massage my cheekbones here. Hang on. Dude, good Lord. That's a unique system of martial arts you've invented there, Kurt. What would you call that system?
I don't know. All I know is my guys were like, hey, that's not a bad idea. And I'm like, it's not.
Oh my God, dude.
It's not a bad idea. And if it's effective and I can fucking sit there and bounce my off the guy's fucking head, he's going to get perturbed.
He'll get perturbed. At the very least. At the very least, he'll be perturbed.
Well,
some people might
figure he's gonna be like, I can't even believe this guy's doing this to me. And he's like, don't.
Someone might take that personally. They just might.
The thing is, if he puts his arms out, then I wrap up his arms and I go Kimura and arm lock, and I'm and I just keep bunking him in the head over and over again, and I like leap up in the sky and then
Oh, you're like a sumo drop with your cup. Dude, the system's getting deep, Kurt. Seriously, this is all the variables and counters that you're coming up with.
The same time, I'm kneeing them to the top of their shoulders.
There you go.
So I'm doing like way more horrible things than they ever thought of.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
Long.
They're getting clinched. They're getting pinned. They're getting kneed to the shoulders. Then you're giving them the business to the back of their head with your cup. That's brutal, man. They call Muay Thai the art of 8 limbs. You've created the art of 9 limbs.
If I strike you with my penis.
My God, dude. Did you mention the Kimura? You mentioned that it sets up Kimuras and stuff. Dude, the worst injury that I've seen in a tournament was a Kimura.
I had this one black belt. His name is Ben Zada.
Yeah.
He was awful. And he would always fuck with everybody. He would be like, "Oh no, Kurt. I put my balls right on their face, it breaks them psychologically, and then I fucking attack their arms." And I'm like, "Yes, I know what you do, Ben." And then he'd like want to train with me. And then he'd do it to me, and I'd be like, "Yeah, Ben, I don't really care if you have your balls in my face. I'm going to get out of here, and then I'm going to fucking do some fucked up shit to you." You know? And he'd be like, "Why don't you mind them all?" Because I'm confident in my fucking manliness, and I don't have any hangups.
And, so you know that revenge is coming. You're gonna get revenge.
And I know that payback is coming. But a lot of guys would break psychologically and be like, "Ah," and they give himself over to him. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, there was a guy I knew who used to train in no-gi. He would wear just the spats. He did the thing where there's no shorts over the spats, just the spats. And his he had a real lanky kind of guard playing game. And this one time he got a no-arm triangle on the guy. So it wasn't a normal triangle choke. He just happened to lock in.
I know.
Yeah, the triangle on the head without the arm inside. So you can imagine where the face is, where the head is, all the pressure. And this one dude, I mean, he absolutely freaked out, dude. He was like tapping with like both arms and like screaming and threw the guy off him. And then ever since then, that move we called it the gooch. We called that the gooch triangle.
No, I don't think I understand. You know who's really good at the no-arm triangle?
Who?
Half.
Oh, really? He does those a lot. Does he put the arm in to compensate for not having having their arm in? So he uses his own.
And
arm.
he's got all kinds of entries to it, where you enter into it and you don't get out.
Yeah. It's effective, man. For the guys that know how to do that well, it's effective for sure.
Well, it's nice if you're long, but if you're short and you got big thighs, it's tight.
Yeah. It's hard to slip out for sure. Yeah, and then like when they snake their own arm in to compensate to hit that carotid artery, it's just an extra little wedge that's in there that makes it even harder to slip out now. So, what are you working on in your game these days? What are you playing most when you're training?
No, I'm teaching the guys the lasso sweep where you thrust up and load and then punch over, you know, like with a lasso or with a straight hook.
Nice.
But basically just keeping your knees apart in a right angle and being able to prop themselves up, stepping the foot on top of their ankle and lifting their hips up, and then doing like a trebuchet, you know what I'm saying? You're dropping your lower end and you thrust up. If he doesn't push in, you fucking drop, thrust, drop until you go underneath them and you get underneath them.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
but that's an old school half sweep. And so that was like, he's all, I remember, this is going to be your favorite sweep in the whole wide world.
He said that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes.
If you say so. Yes, sir.
It's best to answer yes.
Yeah. If Half says something, just say, okay, yes, sir. Absolutely. Dude, it's funny. Last time you were talking about Almaplatus. We went kind of on a deep dive in Almaplatus, and that was already something I was focusing on.
But there's Almaplata there too. I do the lasso sweep and I come up and the guy won't load on. He'll he'll put his butt back not to get swept, and I roll through and I go omoplato or I do a sweep forward.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, omoplatus is something I've been focusing on a lot, just because it's something I neglected. I don't even know why I neglected it. I think just because I was always thinking of the omoplata as the final submission. I was thinking of it from a final.
No, it's everything.
It's sweeps, it's transitions, I rarely even land the omoplata submission.
I'm gonna get something.
Yeah, I know
that you're going on bottom. At the very least.
Yeah, so it's been awesome, man. I've really been enjoying some of you were showing me. You sent me some links to some stuff regarding that. And it's been helping a lot, so I appreciate it. What else you been working on? What else is going on in your jiu-jitsu game besides the lasso sweeps?
I like simple chokes. I like really easy chokes, and then a lot of people don't. Bota fé.
Yeah.
No estrangulamento.
Yeah. There's no arguing with chokes, man. There's no like.
You can't argue with a choke.
You're either conscious.
Now look, I can break your fucking arm and you'll escape, and you can run around with your arm flopping about.
Yeah. But
if I strangle you,
that's a wrap.
You are strangled. And so that's what Half always taught me. He's all, the guy might have a sword.
Just in case, yeah. You never know. San Francisco, you never know who's walking around with what.
Well, if the guy grabs me in a footlock and I have a sword. Right?
That swings the balance of power, just a little bit.
Fuck you, fucking footlocker. Yeah. So that's what I always got taught. There's nothing more definitive than a strangle.
100%. Yeah, it's something that Elio Gracie used to say, is that there's no tough guys with chokes. Like, basically, it doesn't matter how much the guy can bench, how many.
That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, how long he's been in prison, how many fights he's been in, doesn't matter. If you choke, you choke. That's it. Well, man, Kurt, let me tell you what, man. The last several times you've been on the show, we haven't played the pummel game because you've played the pummel game so many times. So we always do like the this or that game or something like that. I'm going to bring you back to the pummel because it's been like 5 or 6 episodes since you've done it. And who knows, we might get different answers. So let's see. Question 1, what's the worst job you ever had in your life?
I worked at a retirement home and I was a dishwasher.
Okay. Wow. How long did you do that? Now, no offense.
Years.
But when you say that you worked in a retirement home, that came as a surprise to me. How long did you do that for? They kept you
for a long time.
They kept you in the kitchen, though.
Yeah, I was in the kitchen and I was the dishwasher.
No, it's not freaking out the residents in any way. Okay.
No, not freaking out. Just trying to date all the waitresses.
Okay. I thought you were going to say residents. Okay, with the waitresses. Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, not the residents.
Okay. All right. So watching
that would be really sick.
You'd be We'd have to stop talking after that. So how long did you do that for?
For years and years, until I was electrocuted.
You were electrocuted doing dishes?
Well, because the wet vac. It was made out of stainless steel, and so I was vacuuming up, like all the water in the back area. Yeah. And so this thing was like stainless steel, and then hit one of the posts, and I fucking jumped from like here to like 20 feet away.
Oh my God.
In an electrical shock, like shocked very hard.
Damn, dude.
And then I woke up and I was like, holy shit. And the vacuum was still running and it was still in the water. And I was like, holy shit.
Oh, so this knocked you out. You were unconscious.
Oh, no. It threw me fucking 20 plus feet away.
And you hit your head. You got knocked out.
Yeah.
Wow. And you were there by yourself, so you wake up and you see the thing still running. Did you? I wouldn't have gone back.
I was like, holy shit! I just fucking got up, pulled the plug out, ran out of there.
Oh my God, dude, Did they find out you got electrocuted? Did the people working?
Yeah. I told them.
They fire you for it?
No.
Okay. was gonna say you made it sound like that was like the final straw or something.
No, that was like the final straw for me.
Oh, for you working there.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. It's like, I'm not gonna die doing dishes here, man. That's not a good way to go. What do you think is a secret talent that you have?
Secret talent. I don't know. I'm kind of musical.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of art oriented also.
Yeah, that's true. Now you're an awesome artist. Do you still have your drum room and everything? You still play drums and play guitar?
I still got it.
It's nice. How often do you practice?
I don't think you understand, Ryan. I haven't been doing anything for a while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. You play guitar at all?
I got so many new guitars here.
Yeah.
When you come over here, you're gonna be like, "Holy shit!"
Well, dude, last time I was there, you had a full wall. In fact, when you said you get new guitars, I'm like, dude, where are you even putting them? Like, there's no space left on your wall.
But they're only like I go like I look on like offer up, and they're like, "Oh, I got this guitar. I got to get rid of it. $100." I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So I go over there. I got a Kerry King fucking BC Rich. I got a fucking. Wow. I got a hammer. I got all kinds of fucking really cool guitars. I got like 3 different drum sets and shit. I got to get rid of.
Dude, that Black Jackson that you had that I was playing was really nice. Did you still have that?
Yeah,
one?
it is.
You didn't trade that?
Yeah,
have it? You don't trade any of them, do you? You keep them all?
I'm a hoarder.
You're a hoarder, bro. You're a guitar hoarder. Yeah. That's cool. You got some good ones though, man. That's awesome. What do you think is the your favorite bad food to eat? Favorite junk food?
Favorite bad food. I really can't eat really bad food.
Yeah, junk food.
But if I do, I really like gyros.
Yeah, those are good.
I like Greek food. I really like that a lot. And then there's this really good pizza place up the street that's so fucking good.
Yeah. What's it? Do they have like a specialty?
Well, yeah, they got really good what is it called? Lasagna. They got really good lasagna. Nice. It's really good.
That's awesome. You eat that a lot?
No.
No, you have to try to control it. Yeah, it's hard. Dude, it's hard when you have like good food spots that are right by the house because that takes like an extra level of discipline.
I can't. I really eat a lot of vegetables.
Nice. That's good. That's good, man. That's so you practice good control then. That's awesome. Yeah, the street I live on here, man, we've got like I think 2 or 3 pizzerias, an Italian spot, a sushi spot, and 2 bakeries. So
Hodizio.
All Hodizio.
The
yeah.
pizza.
All Hodizio. Yeah. For the listeners, Hodizio is like a all you can eat type thing. It's like it's not a buffet. It's like you just order off the menu and they just bring you more and more stuff that's freshly made. It's all you can eat. But bro, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, dude. It's dangerous because it's all right here on my streets. Like when I walk down to pick up my daughter from school.
Hodizio pizza.
It's the
holy
best.
Shit.
It's awesome. What a brilliant idea, man. I swear, dude, I've said, dude, if someone brought that concept of Hodizio to the U.S., they could make bank. Like, you can make a lot of money. Because it's not buffet. It doesn't just sit there under lights. They actually bake it. They bake them. All right. We lost him. Oh God, there goes the phone. God damn, dude. Do I need to call? What's that number for the people that fall down and can't get up? I guess it's just 911. But what's that lifeline? Call Lifeline. Get you a Lifeline bracelet, Kurt.
I'm here.
Okay. He's okay.
I lost the phone.
He's okay. He lost consciousness and his phone.
No. I got a big head rush off this joint. It was fucking immense.
I saw. So anyway, I mean, we better stop talking about food. Otherwise, you're gonna have to walk outside and leave, especially right now. So how about what's your most hated food? What's something you cannot eat no matter what?
Moussaka.
What's that?
That's a Greek food. It's made out of eggplant.
What's it like ferment?
My
like
mom
fermented or something?
No, it's not fermented. It's called moussaka.
Okay.
You have to look it up. But my mom used to make it, and she used to make us eat it, and I was like, "Fuck, moussaka, fuck."
It seems like you don't like moussaka. Is it like is it like baba ganoush, like how they make the eggplant hummus?
No, it's like it's eggplant and cheese, and they bake it in a dish. Oh,
dude, that sounds awesome. I like eggplant.
It's pretty good. It is.
Why don't you like it?
Not when you're little.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, kids are getting kids to eat vegetables, especially like slimy texture, weird texture vegetables can be hard for kids for sure. My daughter's super picky. My son will eat anything, dude. He'll eat like chicken, beef, fish, paper, plastic, metal. Like he eats everything. He's a consumer. My daughter's like super picky with everything she eats. Vegetables are tough. Eggplant, I think, would be a hard one to sell most kids on for sure.
Eggplant's hard to sell on anybody.
Yeah, you still don't like it. Not really. That's good, man. What do you think is who's your favorite MMA fighter of all time?
Either Half or Henzo.
Good choices. How about favorite jiu-jitsu? How about favorite sport jiu-jitsu practitioner? Favorite sport competitor?
Oh wow! Fuck! There's so many fucking sport guys. Oh, fuck! Sport guy. I don't know. Nino came over here at house behest, and I really like Nino really a lot because he was really good.
Yeah, Nino Chamberlin's a legend, dude. I was talking about him recently on the show with someone else. I can't remember who it was. Might have been talking to Brian Glick about it. But Nino was one of the first guys doing rubber guard type stuff. Like he had that super flexible guard game.
That's who taught me Almaplatus.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Cool.
That's why I was a big Almaplatus guy, because Nino came over here with one of his girlfriends. I'm sure he's not with that girl anymore, but neither are any of them. And but he came over here and he's all Kurt, and he'd come over and pick me up at my house in his Ford Taurus, like station wagon.
Nice.
And then I'd drive up to Sacramento, and then he'd teach classes up at Dave Kovar's place, Kovar Karate. And so we'd go up there and fucking teach in the morning, and then fucking take a nap, and then teach, and then drive back, So I was kind of like just always hanging out with Nino. And so he fucking taught me everything. Taught me all the omoplata stuff, all the movement, all the outside arm drag that nobody did.
Yeah.
Became my thing, and I was like, holy shit, that really works when you do that to people, and they crash into the floor.
Yeah.
No, and they crash into the floor.
Yeah. It's like a face plant.
And they bounce. Bam, bam, bam.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's super cool that Nino was the one that really impressed that upon you. Yeah, I remember like there was guys in MMA too, like Shinya Aoki, for example, had a guard that looked a lot like Nino's, where he would do like a lot of like gogo plata, omoplata, rubber guard type stuff. And then, of course, when Eddie Bravo launched 10th Planet and got out there and showed his style, that took it to a whole nother level, obviously. But
he started 10th Planet, and then now there's a bunch of guys that don't wash their gis.
Well, they don't own gis.
Exactly.
Same thing. Not washing your gi and not owning a gi is the same thing for Kurt. Who do you think? Who do you think's your? What's your biggest phobia?
I hate spiders.
Do you really? I didn't know that. They freak you out? Oh, well, maybe I did know that. I think you were talking about it when you were cleaning out your attic or you're working on your roof or something.
No, I don't think you understand. There's some big spiders around here.
Didn't you fall off your roof because of a spider? Was that you?
Yeah.
That was you, right? I forgot about that. Yeah, dude.
I'll leap off of things to get away from a spider.
Dude, just squish it. Just step on it.
If I don't have anything to squish it with, I fucking jump.
You use your hand, bro. They can't bite. Like if you squash a spider on its back, it can't.
Dude,
like it's
there's
not
a
gonna turn around and
spider
bite you.
this big. Look, that's a big fucking spider.
Yeah.
And it was like over here, and I was like, I woke up in the middle of the night. I looked up, and I was like, what the fuck is that? It looked like a small crab.
Oh, no. It's like a wolf spider, maybe. Yeah, those things are big. They don't hurt. They don't hurt people though, dude. Wolf spiders.
No. Well, I don't care what they do.
They're also, dude. They kill like every other bug that's in your house too, man. So those are actually kind of good to have around. Not for you. That's what I got a can of Raid for. Dude, when I was working, I used to work pest control back in the day. And,
I know.
Yeah, and like
I know.
I was in a crawl space one time, and I was looking. This lady had some kind of critter. I think it was like ended up being like a possum or something. But I'm crawling through this crawl space, a very small gap of space to crawl through, and I feel something as I'm looking around with the flashlight. I feel something kind of like crawling around my back of my shoulder. And so I thought maybe it was just like a cobweb or like some dust falling, but then all of a sudden I see it, and dude, there's a black widow. There's a black widow sitting right on my tricep. And so in that moment I couldn't move. Like I was kind of afraid to like smack it off in case it decided to latch on and bite me. And I had to just sit there for like about what felt like 5 minutes. It was probably like 30 seconds, but I had to just like sit there and just like wait for it on its own to like leave and crawl off my arm. But it was a long 30 seconds, man.
That like brown recluses and black widows, they have necrotic.
Yeah, it'll eat
venom.
your flesh. Yeah, it kills your flesh.
It'll eat your flesh.
Yeah.
So no, I know all about that shit.
Have you seen this new fentanyl variation that they're showing that eats your flesh? Because fentanyl, like you're already in San Francisco. That's like one of the epicenters.
No, I don't think you understand how bad fentanyl is over here.
It's horrible. It's horrible. In San Francisco, that's why I asked, because San Francisco is one of the worst hit.
No, bro. I don't think you understand. There's all kinds of fucking funding and shit like that so now all the schools in the area have Narcan.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's sad.
Right?
It's sad, but
so just in case you are overdosing, there'll be Narcan there, and that's at all the schools and everything like that. And but otherwise, everything has fentanyl in it. Yeah. Everything. There's no drugs that don't have fentanyl in it.
Wow, that's really scary, dude. Yeah, there's several documentaries I've seen, several like not documentaries but like news reports, like 60 Minutes, that kind of Dateline, that kind of stuff, where they show like all the effects that are going on. There's a new one now. There's a new variation now that's necrotic, like you said. Like it eats flesh. Like it causes people that shoot it up. It starts eating away. It's like your arm rots. It just starts rotting and turning black. It's crazy, and it looks very much. If you've ever seen a black widow, someone gets bit by a black widow, it looks very much like an untreated black widow bite.
All I know is everything here is mixed or blended with fentanyl, and so everybody's overdosing in San Francisco.
Jeez, that's crazy.
So like the overdose, how can I say the escalation is like over 20% just from the beginning of the year.
Oh my God, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Well, it's scary because like I've seen body cam footage of cops who are searching someone, and like they open a bag, like this person has like a little drug bag with them, like a little purse or something, and they open it and they get exposed to whatever's in there, and then all of a sudden they just go into shock. They fall on the ground. They have to get Narcan shot into them. It's crazy. That's really, really scary stuff. But I know that San Francisco is one of the worst hit cities with that. It seems like San Francisco and Philadelphia are like two of the really bad. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's what I've heard, man. That's what I hope it gets better. That's one of those problems that like I've thought about that a lot. Like how do you stop that kind of a problem? And it feels like we've tried everything that there can be to try. They've treated it like a disease. They've treated it like a crime.
They're throwing $30 billion into mini homes for the unhomed, and so that they get drug treatment and everybody's okay.
Let me ask you this: what do you think is who do you think is your favorite superhero?
I don't know. Predator.
Predator, yeah, okay. No one's mentioned Predator before as a superhero. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. How about if you could pick a superpower, what would you choose?
Hitting things.
Just hitting things. You can already do that now.
Being able to shoot things at very long ranges and hitting them every time.
Oh, okay. So having like expert marksmanship. Okay.
Yes.
Be like a Punisher type of like Punisher or like Hawkeye with a bow and arrow.
Sure.
Sure. You don't know who these people are, do you?
No.
Okay. Final question for the pummel game, Kurt. If a zombie apocalypse breaks out right now, what's the first thing you do?
I grab my automatic crossbow and a lot of extra rounds, and I'll be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, your house is pretty well suited for a zombie apocalypse. You have the platform on the roof that you can stand on that you built. You've got the gnome room. I don't want to give away too much of the layout of your place, but yeah, you've got some cool stuff going on there. You've got some bunkers.
I've got plenty of stabbing, shooting things.
And platforms to shoot them from. That's true. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd be all right in a zombie apocalypse. You'd be okay. And Kurt, that was the final question for the pummel game. Congratulations, you win. You got your double underhooks. So,
all right.
So, man, let me ask you. You mentioned during the pummel that one of your secret talents is that you're artistic, and I always love seeing your drawings that you make and your tattoos that you design. Do you have any new tattoos that you've gotten since we last spoke? Or
no, man, I haven't been getting tattooed or anything. I asked to get tattooed, but there's a waiting list, so hopefully it'll come to fruition.
Yeah, I'm on a waiting list too, man. There's a couple of really good artists down here, and but the one that I really want to have do some more work with me is like a 1 year. It's like a 1 year waiting list. So he's got a pretty long list of clients. But yeah, are you still designing tattoos? Are you still drawing and using your light box and stuff?
No, I'm not. I'm not doing anything, man. I'm just fucking trying to get myself together.
You're making your tattoo designs and stuff. Is it all freehand, or are you using? Yeah.
I look at art books or other drawings, and then I redraw them.
Do you use like perspective? Like you start with the circle and then put the guidelines and stuff, then create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do like if I do like faces and stuff like that. Yeah, I know how to do all that stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's something I'm trying to learn how to do, man. Because like drawing is something it's fun and it's a good release. It's like a cathartic release, you know. And my daughter like loves art and drawing and stuff. She's got a lot of her mom in her, you know. So she's like a big time into art and everything. So I'm trying to learn how to do all that. But I suck. I'm bad at drawing. But I'm trying to learn how to do like the circle with the guidelines and kind of build from there. But
you just gotta set the angle of the head and like what tilt you want on it, and then do your center line and then your eyebrow line and your center line, and then
the chin.
Cut the pie.
Cut the pie. There you go. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. It's perspective and things and shadowing and things like that. I'm still not that great. I'm still trying to learn that, but it's been cool. It's a cool activity. Let me ask you, man. When you get your tattoos, how long do you typically have to wait before you can start rolling again?
I never waited that much. I mean, I would get it on Friday, and then I'd be back on the mat on Monday.
No way. Seriously? Wow.
Yeah, but then I would train specifically a certain way where it wouldn't rub that part. I would do outside passing without, smashing myself into things and stuff like that. Or I would do just certain exercises that didn't abrade that.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
But then I heal really fast.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, they always say like the main thing about tattoos is when they're fresh is just avoiding getting them infected. It's not so much that impact on them is going to do a whole lot of them. I guess it could.
Well, I would keep them covered up and with the triple antibiotic and stuff like that, and and the saran wrap, and then put on rash guard and stuff like that. So
it'd be pretty well.
I wouldn't be exposed.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I got a couple different things I want to get. I'll send them over to you when we're off the phone here, when we're off the call here. But I got a couple other things I want. But yeah, it's a long wait list, man. When you have a good artist, it's kind of a delay like that, you know. Speaking of art and stuff, dude, I've had a couple different people, different listeners in the show reach out to me and ask me to ask you when you're going to start doing merchandise again, because you used to design your own merchandise. It was awesome.
Right now, I'm struggling. I'm just trying to get my calendar filled so that I have a seminar per month, at least, you know. And then if I make extra money, then I'll make some merch and stuff like that. And then I got some people who are gonna help me do merch and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll come around soon.
Awesome, man. And how's everything going at La Marinda Jiu Jitsu? You guys, classes going well?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's program going.
Well, it is what it is. You know, the mornings are definitely not as big as the nights.
Yeah, so more people training in at night.
And then I think Matt Kano's coming over here at the end of the month.
Nice, dude. How's he doing?
He's good.
Yeah, Kano's awesome, man. Well, man, for anyone out there, so Kurt, if people are going to come visit, you and I was telling you there's a guy that was going to come visit you, a friend of a friend of mine who, did he ever?
It was on Saturday though.
Yeah, so you don't train you don't teach on the weekends, huh?
No.
What days are you there?
I'm Monday through Friday.
Oh, okay, so you're there every day, just not the weekends. Okay. You teach morning and night?
No, I just do 11 a.m.s.
11 a.m.s. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, yes, I mean, guys, if you're ever traveling through the Bay Area, man, he's in Lafayette, California, and La Marinda Jiu Jitsu. Get there at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. And then, of course, guys, if you can't make it to La Marinda, or if you can't make it to his academy out on the West Coast, you can learn from him anywhere in the world. He's got a great instructional with us called Fundamentals of a Jiu-Jitsu Renegade. So make sure you guys check that out. It's one of our best sellers at BJJFanatics.com. Kurt, what are some of your big goals, man, for the next few months? We're going to talk again in another couple months anyway, but for now, what are you working on?
I'm just trying to get booked out for the last quarter of the year. So I have August, September, October, November, December all booked out, and so that I'm going across the United States, and then that's about it.
Where's the best place for people to reach out to you to book seminars? Would it be Instagram?
You guys can get a hold of me Instagram, instant message me, or Facebook. I'll answer all of them because I don't have a staff.
Nice. So just reach out to Kurt directly, guys. If you guys want to have Kurt come out for a seminar, I've been to a few of Kurt's seminars. They're always awesome. So you guys definitely reach out, get him booked if you're wanting to have seminars come to your school. You'll have a great time with Kurt for sure. Well, folks, unfortunately, we're fresh out of time. Kurt, always a blast, man. This was episode number 27 that we've done together. I appreciate you always coming back on the show. You always bring a lot of fun with you, and I hope to do it again with you in the next month or so, man. We want to make this a more regular thing like it used to be.
Cool.
All right. So anyone out there that wants to keep up with Kurt, it's real easy to do so. He's active on Facebook, Instagram. Both you type in his name on either of those, his profiles will pop up. Also, guys, check out the YouTube channel, Move of the Week. Just type in Kurt Osiander Move of the Week, and you'll find hundreds and hundreds of Move of the Weeks that he's put out over the years. And then again, guys, if you're ever traveling through the Bay Area, La Marinda Jiu Jitsu in Lafayette, California is where he teaches. Drop in and get some training. He teaches Monday through Friday at the 11 a.m. class. And if you can't get out to the West Coast for whatever reason, you can learn from him right here at BJJFanatics.com. One of his best-selling instructionals with us is Fundamentals of a Jiu-Jitsu Renegade. So you guys be sure to pick that up. And that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. I really appreciate you tuning in. Please stay tuned for the next episode of the BJJ Fanatics podcast.